Hi everyone, welcome to Type Talks. Today we're here with Jonathan, and we're going to be dissecting the Marvel comic universe, mainly Iron Man and Captain America, in today's video. This episode will be a teaser for our workshop coming up called Action, Typology, and Fiction. And so if you enjoyed this video, feel free to also check out the workshop we're having.
Yeah, so first we're going to be watching a clip from the first Iron Man movie. This is going to be introducing Tony Stark and showing his personality and what he's about at this stage in his life.
Tony Stark. Visionary. Genius. American patriot. Even from an early age, the son of legendary weapons developer Howard Stark quickly stole the spotlight with his brilliant and unique mind. At age 4, he built his first circuit board. At age 6, his first engine. And at 17, he graduated summa cum laude from MIT. Then, the passing of a titan. Howard Stark's lifelong friend and ally, Obadiah Stane, steps in to help fill the gap left by the legendary founder, until at age 21, the prodigal son returns and is anointed the new CEO of Stark Industries. With the keys to the kingdom, Tony ushers in a new era for his father's legacy, creating smarter weapons, advanced robotics, satellite targeting. Today, Tony Stark has changed the face of the weapons industry by ensuring freedom and protecting America and her interests around the globe.
If you look at Type from a stereotypical lens, he's fitting all the markers of a traditional NT theorist type. And so his background in technology, robotics, in scientific innovation, and in paving the way of creating new technology that has never been made before is classical, stereotypical NT.
Well said, well said.
As liaison to Stark Industries, I've had the unique privilege of serving with a real patriot. He is my friend, and he is my great mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present this year's Apogee Award to Mr. Tony Stark. Tony?
Thank you, Colonel. This is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all very much. This is wonderful. Well, I'm not Tony Stark. But if I were Tony, I would tell you how honored I feel and what a joy it is to receive this very prestigious award. Tony, you know, the best thing about Tony is also the worst thing. He's always working.
Working. Come on.
You are unbelievable.
Oh, no. They rope you into this?
Nobody wrote me in anything.
So
But they
sorry.
told me that if I presented you with an award, you would be deeply honored.
Of course I'd be deeply honored. And it's you. Oh, that's great. So when do we do it?
It's right here.
One more round.
There you go.
There it is. That was easy. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wow, will you look at that? That's something else. I don't have any of those floating around. We're going to ride. Give me a hand, will you? Okay, you too.
I don't go on.
There.
Come on,
There it is. We got a Colonel Rhodes rolls in. Mind away. Worst things have happened. I think we're going to be fine. Call me up.
All right, tomorrow, don't be late.
Yeah, you can count on
I'm
it.
serious.
I know. Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar. There you go.
So first of all, there's some debate in the Enneagram community over whether Tony Stark is a 3 or a 7. I think this shows that he's far more of a 7 because he misses his own award ceremony and he actually hands his award away because it means absolutely nothing to him. He'd much rather be playing in the casino and hang out with girls than receiving any recognition for what he does. We're also seeing a lot of playfulness, a lot of humor, a lot of flirting. We're seeing a lot of very typical EP stuff. So to speak to Joyce saying that he was an NT, it's very likely that he's an ENTP.
Yeah, so you can see in this clip that Tony is goofing off, wanting to have fun, wanting to have a good time with people. Enneagram 7s are known for having activity partners, and what those are is people you can do stuff with and have fun with. And so Tony is playing around. So lots of 7 there.
Mr. Stark, excuse me, Mr. Stark. Christine Everhart, Vanity Fair magazine. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
She's good. She's all right. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
okay?
Okay, go.
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
And what do you say to your other nickname, the Merchant of Death?
That's not bad. Let me guess. Berkeley?
Brown, actually.
Well, Ms. Brown, it's an imperfect world, but it's the only one we've got. I guarantee you the day weapons are no longer needed to keep the peace, I'll start making bricks and beans for baby hospitals.
You rehearse that much?
Every night in front of the mirror before bedtime.
I can see that.
I'd like to show you firsthand.
All I want is a serious answer.
Okay, here's serious. My old man had a philosophy. Peace means having a bigger stick than the other guy.
It's a great line coming from the guy selling the sticks.
My father helped defeat the Nazis. He worked on the Manhattan Project. A lot of people, including your professors at Brown, would call that being a hero.
And a lot of people would also call that war profiteering.
Tell me, do you plan to report on the millions we've saved by advancing medical technology or kept from starvation with our IntelliCrops? All those breakthroughs, military funding, honey.
You ever lose knowledge sleep your whole life?
Be prepared to lose a few with you.
So what we're seeing here is, if we're seeing him as an ENTP, we can see what may be some inferior SI. So we're seeing him become a bit of an SJ, speaking to the past, speaking to law and order, defending and rationalizing all of his actions in terms of it's keeping the peace, it's bringing order and stability to the world. It's also reminding him of his father. And it was so earlier in the clip, he lost his father at a young age. And so there's this emotional attachment going on there. He's still being very playful and very flirty. But this is him showing his more serious side.
Yeah, and you can also see some NT behavior in this too, because he's engaging in a little bit of debate. And so that's the NETI coming out and justifying his actions, having that quick-witted banter and defense of his stance. There's that element of coldly, objectively looking at it. And also that NEFE flirting that you'll see going along and playing with that person and teasing them, push the envelope to see what kind of interesting reaction they would have. And so you can see that playing to see a reaction, an emotional reaction from the other person.
And so now we're going to be looking at young Captain America and seeing some of his origin story, and also some of Tony's dad, just for a bit of similarities.
I don't see what the problem is. You're about to be the last eligible man in New York.
You know, there's 3.5 million women here.
Well, I'd settle for just one. Good thing I took care of that.
What'd you tell her about?
Only the good stuff.
Welcome to the Modern Marvels Pavilion and the world of tomorrow. A greater world. A better world.
Oh my god! It's starting!
So what you're seeing right here is first is some introvert extrovert sort of interaction. Bucky Barnes seems more confident, more sure, and he's talking about how Steve's going to get all the girls because he'll be the only guy in New York because everyone else is off to war, and Bucky's already set up a double date, whereas Steve Rogers is more shy, more quiet, more insecure, and is less confident in himself and his abilities to go on a date or do anything. They're also debating, for context, that Steve wants to join the military, he wants to sign up, but Bucky's the one who's actually going out. You also see a little bit of FE here where Steve kind of shallowly is offering the sweets he's got to his girl who's not interested, just showing some basic consideration for others as his normal interaction style.
A few short years, your automobile won't even have to touch the ground at all. Yes, thanks, Mandy. With stock gravitic reversion technology, you'll be able to do just that.
Holy cow.
I did say a few years, didn't I?
Hey, Steve, what do you say we treat these girls?
Come on, soldier.
Come on, kind of missing the point of a double date. We're taking the girls dancing.
You go ahead. I'll catch up with you.
You really gonna do this again?
Well, it's a fair. I'm gonna try my luck.
As who? Steve from Ohio? If they'll catch your horse, they'll actually take you.
Look, I know you don't think I can do this.
This isn't a back alley, Steve. It's war.
I know it's a war.
Why are you so keen to fight? There's so many important jobs.
What are you gonna do? Collect scraps?
Yes.
In my little red wagon?
Why not?
I'm not gonna sit in the factory,
I don't-
Bucky. Bucky, come on. There are men laying down their lives. I got no right to do any less than them. That's what you don't understand. This isn't about me.
Right. Because you got nothing to prove.
Hey, sorry. We going dancing?
Yes, we are. Don't do anything stupid until I get back.
How can I? Taking all the stupid with you.
You're a punk.
Jerk. Careful. Don't win the war till I get there.
And so you can see here that Steve's reason for wanting to join the army comes from a place of duty and responsibility. And so this is where his temperament comes up, of him being an SJ type, a guardian type.
Yeah, and we also see Bucky being kind of protective and also quite playful and able to turn on the charm but still be thinking of his best friend. So Bucky is likely, in this scene, he comes off as a bit of an ESTP, or maybe an ESFP, but it definitely seems like an SE Dom who's considerate of other people's feelings, but also wants to have fun and play. And thinks that Steve's being a bit too serious about things. And some people would take Captain America as an NF of some kind, like an INFJ, but he seems more focused on action and doing things rather than ideating and philosophizing a lot about the nature of the war or what his duty is. He's more of someone who wants to be doing things and doing things as part of a group and a community rather than necessarily philosophizing so much about things. And you see that more throughout the movies. So in our opinion, he's an ISFJ rather than an INFJ. And now, last but not least, we're showing a clip from a much later movie, the third Captain America movie, where Steve Rogers has got his superpowers, he's become Captain America, he's a big hero. Now they're at, and he and Iron Man are part of a team called the Avengers, and they're having an argument because the government wants to, or the United Nations wants to impose order and rein the Avengers in and make them play by their rules. Steve Rogers, even though he's an SJ, he's had experiences by this point that put him off that, where he's seen a lot of corrupt government abuse and stuff. Whereas Tony's reckless behavior has caused a lot of problems and got in a lot of situations. So Tony's actually becoming a bit more pro-government and feeling the need that he should be reined in and that the Avengers by extension should also be reined in. So we're about to see a argument they're having regarding that.
Hey, you want to see something cool? I pulled something from Dad's archives. Timely. 50-year signed the Lend-Lease bill with these in 1941. Provided support to the Allies when they needed it most.
Some would say it brought our country closer to war.
See, if not for these, you wouldn't be here. I'm trying to, what do you call it? That's an olive branch. Is that what you call it?
Is Pepper here? I didn't see her.
We're kind of, well, not kind of.
Pregnant?
No, definitely not. We're taking a break. It's nobody's fault.
I'm so sorry, Tony. I didn't know.
A few years ago, I almost lost her, so I trashed all my suits. Then we had to mop up Hydra, and then Ultron. My fault. And then I never stopped, because the truth is I don't want to stop. I don't want to lose her. I thought maybe the Accords could split the difference.
And so we can see in this clip here, Tony Stark is reaching into his inferior introverted sensing, as in ENTP. He wants to rain down on the chaos, and he actually wants to create some sort of stability and security, because the whole superhero thing is causing a lot of chaos, and he's starting to feel bad about it. In this scene, we'll see a lot of inferior grip.
Yeah, and we're also seeing him talk about how he's tried quitting being Iron Man. He tried to give up and for the sake of his relationship, and yet he feels he couldn't stop, and he's worried that he's losing the woman he loves because of this. And he's trying to find some kind of compromise here. So he's got a lot of stress going on.
Yeah, and as we know, extreme stress can bring you into the grip of your inferior function. And so,
That's delightful. Yeah, Dad was a pain in the ass, but your mom always made it work.
You know, I'm glad Howard got married. I only knew him when he was young and single.
Oh, really? You two knew each other? He never mentioned that. Maybe only 1,000 times. God, I hated you.
I don't mean to make things difficult.
I know, because you're a very polite person.
If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it. Sometimes I wish I could.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth. But I don't want to see you gone. We need you, Cap. So far, nothing's happened that can't be undone if you sign. We can make the last 24 hours legit. Barnes gets transferred to an American psych center instead of a Wakandan prison.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but there would have to be safeguards.
Sure. Once we put out the PR fire, these documents can be amended. I'd file a motion to have you and Wanda reinstated.
Wanda, what about Wanda?
She's fine. She's confined to the compound currently. Vision's keeping her company.
Oh, God, Tony, every time I think
Well,
you
it's
see
100
things the right
acres
way.
with a lap pool. It's got a screening room. There's worse ways to protect me.
Protection. Is that how you see this? This is protection? It's internment.
She's
Tony.
not a U.S. citizen, and they
Oh,
don't
come
grant
on,
visas
Tony.
to weapons of mass
She's a
destruction.
kid.
Give me a break.
Okay, so first of all, you're seeing Tony kind of, on some level, he sort of envies Steve Rogers because he sees Steve as this very responsible, polite person who's super perfect and everything. And he acknowledges that Steve is, very responsible and feels like he has to intervene with things. So Steve is likely an Enneagram 1 as well as being an IFJ. He's specifically someone who's quite dutiful and really wants to get involved with things. He's not so much worried about getting in trouble and stuff. He's quite confident in sticking by a principle that he feels is right. And on some level, Tony kind of envies that, and the other level he thinks is a bit naive. This is what they're arguing about here. Steve believes in sticking to his principles. Steve is willing to compromise on this law that they're arguing about, and he's willing to see the other side of things, but he does have limits. So what they're talking about with Wanda there, that's their colleague who's in some trouble and she's under house arrest. And Steve is only just finding out about it. Tony Stark, he's using his inferior SI, he's also using some FE. Is like he's trying to be a more responsible person. He's trying to show consideration for others, but he's still sort of limited in his view because he's thinking primarily in terms of America and his American citizens and stuff, because that is who he is. So he's sort of, this whole film and really his whole character through the movies is Tony Stark struggling to trying to find ways to be a more responsible person and sort of fumbling his way to do it in a sort of ENTP way.
I'm doing what has to be done to stave off something worse.
You keep telling yourself that. Hate to break up the set.
So you can see in this clip that Tony Stark is saying he's trying to stave off something worse from happening. This is where his inferior SI is coming up, and also his NE is generating these worst case scenarios. And he's like, oh, the worst case scenario could happen. Anything could happen. And the worst of that anything could happen. And so he's being ultra controlling and being ultra micromanaging. So ENTPs are selectively anal slobs. And so for some things they're super relaxed about, like we saw the casino scene that Tony was a part of, or they could be super anal about cracking down on certain parts of what they find important too. And so we're seeing that black and white nature of the inferior function playing out. And so those are the clips for today. Feel free to check out our course, Action, Typology, and Fiction. It's currently on sale. And There, you'll have a community of people you can analyze characters with, and you'll be able to watch TV shows with us and analyze away and be your nerdy self, while also listening to our read of the characters too, in conversation with you. So, if that appeals to you, check the link below.
Yeah, the link should be in the description for the course, and there's a chance to hang out with Joyce and watch a bunch of movies and TV shows with her. What more do you want?
And so, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you all there. Bye.
Bye.